Hi, great people. This is Deborah. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Let me read the disclaimer. Let's see here. Keep in mind, I'm using my notes that I jot down so I can not miss a point. Um, Welcome to my platform where I deliver educational, reflective, and thought provoking content. My mission is to share knowledge with intention and respect, leveraging the insight I have gained from my intuition. The historical relationship between the Moors and the Abions, which are the Europeans, is crucial and cannot be overlooked. That's been going on for too long. The Moors undeniably shaped the early narrative of Europe history. And if you didn't know who the Moors are, they're Africans, West Africans. A narrative deeply influenced by power dynamics. This relationship was not just a clash, but a dynamic interaction of cultures and ideologies during the colonization conquest. They started the colonization conquest, the Moors did. The Moors' influence permeated various aspects, including education in Europe, employment in Europe, trade in Europe, resources allocation in America, and today treaties exist between the USA and the Moors, the Pan-Hellenic, or whatever you want to call them. Now, I encourage you to take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf or throw it away. However, I strongly encourage you to remain open while exploring the truth. Now, this particular topic is called Distorted Symbols. This is the beginning. The true meaning of sacred symbols and their directional significance. Let's look at the Ankh. The Ankh represent life. The wound is the portal of life. The loop at the top symbolizes the womb and the female reproductive organs, the source of life. The vertical line is the spine and the flow of eternal energy, and it aligns with the path of the soul. The horizontal arms of the fallopian tube, spreading from the womb, reinforcing the feminine aspect. The directional significance. The Ankh symbolizes the cylindrical nature of life. East represent the beginning, south represent growth, west represent transformation, and north is regeneration. It is the cosmic map of life journey from birth to rebirth. The entire symbol becomes a blueprint of creation, not through phallic energy, which is the penis, but through the eternal phenomenon and the sacred power of birth. The microism, which is the individual, the body, the womb, the inner world, is a reflection of the maker, the universe, the cosmos, the great mother, the all. Is the phase that they say, as above, so below, it's the same. And this about those two things. True meaning represent life, the womb, and the portal of creation. The Ankh is not only the uterus, but also the eternal phenomenon that connects the physical world with spiritual realm. The loop is the womb. The vertical line is the spine energy flow, and the horizontal arms are the fallopian tubes, representing birth and regeneration. The reinterpretation of the bottom line as a penis came much later, forced by the patriarchals and sought to suppress and minimize the primacy of the feminine in creation story. They created the penis, which is the phallus, that they call the patriarchals did. It's not true. As you're going to see as I begin to talk about it, you're going to see that they have taken all those symbols that were sacred and distorted them. The patriarchal system and the patriarchal systems, for your information, were black originally because they was given the sacred symbols. Just to let you know, can't put everything on the Albions. They didn't know. They were given this information by uh, the Moors, the black Africans. Okay, I said it. Now, the patriarchal systems took these sacred systems and recast them into something else, stripping them of their feminine essence and even turning them into warnings, tattoos, and oppositions. The X went from being a sign of creation and power to a mark of negation, of censorship, and modern usage. But in truth, the X is the original, the micro, the microcosm, the matrix. The sacred feminine is geometric form. Now, the X. The X as a symbol is not just geometric, it is cosmological with four limbs, four directions centered at the womb. The human is a sacred compass, and the womb is still pointing from which all movements began. Now, let us connect that to the sun and direction. The 4 points of the X align with the cardinal directions: east, which is sunrise; south, which is midday; west, which is sunset; and north, which is night. Now, at the center of the X, where the lines cross, the womb, the axis, Monday, the place where spirit enters matter. Okay? Uh, the sun's journey across the sky follows these points as well. Rising in the east, which is birth; peaking in the south, which is life and strength; setting in the west, which is death and transformation; and resting in the north, which is regeneration, dreaming. You don't realize, but you die every time you go to sleep. Why? Because the soul leaves the physical body while you're sleeping. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So the X becomes both a map and mirror of the earth, the cosmos, and the self. The woman stands at the center, not just as a participant, but also as the portal and the anchor of the entire circle. Let's look at the original X. It's the same as the cross. Look at the X and look at the cross. It's been tweaked. It's the same thing. Rooted in esoteric and spiritual meaning, and was a symbol of eternal feminine balance, creation, and cosmic order. The patriarchal system always dominated rather than honor, flipped, and they altered and distorted this sacred symbol into something hierarchical, linear, and oppressive. Patriarchal turned the X into the Latin cross, a vertical line dominating a shorter horizontal one. This symbol became associated with the sacred control, martyrdom, and male centered theologian. What was once a cosmic map of wholeness and birth became a tool for hierarchy, domination, and fear. The womb centered sacred feminine became replaced by external authority and salvation through suffering. Even the directionality was shift. Instead of a cycle X flowing with the sun and earth, it became linear, separated from the natural cycle. Focus, on beginning and end, and sin and redemption. Sin and redemption, several from the cycles of life and nature. The X represent the four directions and the balance of forces, with the center being the womb or the sacred heart. When turned into the cross, especially the Christian cross, it became associated with sacrifice, control, and domination. The patriarchal interpretation distorting the original meaning of balance, wholeness, and the cosmic wheel. Like the Ankh, the X and the cross point to the four cardinals directions. The arm radiates east, which is birth, south is life, west is death and transformation, and north is rest and regeneration, aligning the path of the sun's journey across the sky. However, beneath all this distortion, the original spiritual code of the X remains alive in the body, in the earth, in dreams, and in people like you who remember. Let's look at the circle with the X inside of it, in the middle of it, the wound of the universe, the eternal phenomenon, wholeness, eternal, the cosmic egg. It has no beginning or end. It has no beginning and end. It is the great mother, the container of all. The X inside the circle. The X represent the four directional, the human form, the microcosm, and the soul's journey through life. Placed with the circle, it becomes the balanced human within the cosmic womb, the sacred self within the eternal womb. In ancient cosmologies, from Kemet to Dogon, from those that was found here in America, and to the Celtic wheels, this symbol is everywhere. It is everywhere, but yet the meaning has been distorted. Now, a solar wheel, a birth chart, a symbol of eternal phenomenon, order, and creation. Esoterically, it also anchors the earth, the circle, and the soul crossroad journey, the inner temple within the outer universe, the microcosm of a woman centered in the microcosmic circle of life. Now, the swastika. A lot of people have been told that the swastika belonged to Hitler. The swastika was never belonged to Hitler. They told you that so you won't go and find out what the swastika really means. Now, the swastika is an ancient sacred symbol that was misappropriated and distorted in modern times, most notably by the Nazis under Hitler. However, the true origin and meaning of the swastika are far older, and it carries deep spiritual significance across many cultures. The ancient origin. The swastika has been found in cultures across the world for thousands of years, long before it was associated with Nazi ideology. They twisted a symbol of life, growth, and prosperity into a mark of division and destruction. The swastika distortion by the Nazi was part of a broader historical pattern of reclaiming symbols of power and manipulating them for control, fear, and domination. The swastika, the true meaning, the swastika is an ancient solar system of prosperity, balance, and the eternal cycle of creation. It was originally a two Z, shaped like Z's, the last letter in the alphabet, two Z shaped paths coming together, representing the flow of energy, cosmic motion, and the balance of opposite, the sun, the moon, the feminine and masculine. It was re- reclaimed by the many cultures, the Hinduism, the Buddhism, the original people that was here in America, which is where it came from, as a symbol of life, nature, and the cycles of the earth. Directional significance: the arm of swastika aligns with the forward direction and represent the sun's journey. East is dawn and birth. South is midday and strength. West is sunset, death, and rebirth. And north is rest, regeneration. It is the vision metaphor for the movement of the cosmos and a solar dance of life. The swastika represents cosmic motion and balance. It is sometimes understood as two Z's, the last letter in the alphabets, the two Z's. One shape is down and the other one is up. I mean, either way you flip it, it still is a Z, which can be viewed as two interlocking symbols of movement, flow, and transformation. In this way, it can be seen as a symbol of the unity of opposites, a dynamic balance between forces like the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. Now, keep in mind that only exists in the earth. It does not exist outside of the earth. Duality does not exist outside of the earth. uh, Swastika and the Z shape. When you look at the swastika, the two Z's you see as a representation of dynamic movement of energy, like a spiral pushing outward and inward, reflecting the continuous flow of the universe. These Z shaped paths can also be seen as a pointing to the four cardinal directions: east, south, west, and north. Now, the beginning point is east. It is not north. They lied, which ties back to the ancient understanding of the swastika as a cosmic wheel. Now, keep in mind, America is east. This is the beginning. This is the old world. The swastika is an ancient solar uh, system, symbol of property, prosperity, balance, and the eternal cycle of creation. It was originally two Z-shaped paths coming together, representing the flow of energy, cosmic motion, and the balance of opposites, sun and moon, feminine and masculine. It was reclaimed by many cultures, uh, the Hindu, the Buddhism, the original Americans, as a symbol of life, nature, and the cycles of the earth. Connecting the dots, how the feminine, the sun, and the symbols align. So above, so below. Now, you're going to see a picture where I captured this beautiful photograph, which is of the sun. And at last, I can clearly see the enchanting X or the cross beyond the sun. It truly is memorizing. And I put a picture now because when I saw that, that was just, ooh. So they said that somebody uh, killed in the name of the cross, uh, misrepresenting the cross and distorting the cross. When I saw the cross for me represent, now the cross represent for me is the planet X, because that's what this is. This is planet X, and everything starts with X. X in the body, X chromosome. They gave you XX as the woman chromosome, and they gave you XY as the man chromosome. They lied. There is only X chromosome, and there is only Y chromosome. And the X chromosome is the phenomenon um, that gives birth to both female and male. Okay, that is the process of the embryo inside the woman's womb. Okay, now the sun was originally seen as a feminine force, especially in the culture where the earth and the feminine energy was revered as the source of life. The sun cycle of rising and setting symbolizes the feminine cycles of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. The sun as the feminine represent the sun's journey, and its warmth gives life to all things. The sun rises in the east, birth, beginning, reaches its zenith in the south, life, strength, sets in the west, death, transformation, and rests in the north, rest, regeneration, completing the cycle of life, death, rebirth, connected to the feminine principle of cycle renewal. You are the Ankh, you are the X, you are the cross. The cross in the circle is you. The Sawakas, the so, mm, mm, mm. swastika is you. The phenomenon is at the center of these symbols. The wound is the Ankh, the crossroad, the X, the cosmic wheel, swastika, and the sun. All of these symbols originally were sacred and deeply connected to life, creation, and balance, were distorted by the patriarchal systems that sought to control and dominate, shifting the focus from the feminine to the masculine. The sun, once seen as feminine, symbolizing the life giving force of the earth and cosmos, became distorted into a masculine patriarchal figure with the sun god taking precedence over the earth goddess in many religion and myth. The directional meaning of each symbol aligns with the sun journey across the sky. East is birth, south is growth, west is death and transformation, and north is regeneration, representing life cycle with the feminine principle at the heart of creation. Now, these symbols once represent the cosmic balance, the cycle of life, the sacred feminine at the center of existence. The patriarchal distorted them into tools of control, but the original wisdom is still embedded within them. By reclaiming their meanings, we understood that the feminine is the source of life, the sun is feminine, and the cycles of nature, as symbolized by the Ankh, the X, then the Ankh, the swastika, and the circle are eternally balanced. I wanted to bring that to your attention. I have been holding on to this for some time, and finally, my intuition said go for it, and I'm going for it. And you may not find this information anywhere. I don't know. But my job is to put out there what I know, and that's what I do. Now, I have listed some references of distortion, uh, and when you're looking at them, they have listed some truth in their articles, but most of it are lies. And I ask that you use your discernment whenever you listen to my videos or anybody else's videos or reading articles. Use your discernment, people, because that's truly important. Um, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. Until the next time, have a good one, good people.